welcome to today's video, and in today's video, I'll be doing a 2024 election prediction between Ron DeSantis and Tim Ryan. So I'm going to, remember just labeling all their safe states, or all Ryan safe states, and then all of DeSantis' safe states. Alright, and here we go. So for Ryan's likely states, I'm gonna go give him Colorado, New Mexico. I actually think New Mexico is probably gonna vote to the right or to the left of Colorado. Not Nebraska second. Minnesota, Virginia, man at large. DeSantis gets Kansas, Texas, Nebraska's first. Florida, South Carolina, Ohio, and Alaska. So in Colorado, I see Ryan doing poorly enough with rural, or I see DeSantis doing well enough with rural voters, Ryan doing poorly enough with suburban voters, and struggling enough with the Hispanic Latino vote that he might carry it likely. New Mexico, Ryan's going to struggle with the Hispanic Latino vote, but he's actually going to do well enough, I think, with oil workers, that it'll probably vote to the left of Colorado. He'll probably carry Colorado by like 7%, whereas probably carrying New Mexico by 9 or 10. Minnesota, I see Ryan actually being strong enough for voters in Minneapolis and doing well with the working class, whereas RDS does pretty well with the rural vote, and does pretty well with the suburban vote, so it'll probably be fairly similar to 2020. Virginia, this is going to be like a very low likely. Ryan's going to struggle with black voters, and he's going to struggle in the DC suburbs. RDS is going to do well enough in the DC suburbs. I still think he's going to struggle, but he's going to do well enough, and he's going to do well enough as well with rural voters that he can lose it by like 5.5%. In Maine at large, Ryan's going to do well enough with white rural college educated voters. It'll probably shift a little bit to the right though. At least a little bit. There's a decent chance that it's like only D plus 6 or 7. Honestly, it could potentially just be D plus 5. So there's a chance it's Lane, but I'm going to give it to him likely. Nebraska's first. RDS, I mean, like, the suburbs are going to continue to shift, but he's also going to struggle a little bit with rural turnout. Kansas, I see the suburbs shifting, but him doing, but Tim Ryan having enough appeal to Midwestern, farmers that it only goes likely. Kansas and Nebraska's first could both easily be safe. It's kind of hard to tell. Or, well, not necessarily. I'm going to give them to RDS likely, but they could both easily go to them safe. Like, bear that in mind. Texas, RDS is going to get well enough rural turnout, or at least well enough rural turnout to carry it likely against someone like Ryan, who's going to struggle in the suburbs and struggle with the Hispanic Latino vote. Florida, not only is RDS wildly popular there, he's going to do well enough with older white voters, he's going to do well enough with suburbanites, he's going to do well enough with the Hispanic Latino vote. South Carolina, RDS is going to get enough rural turnout. Ryan's going to get struggle enough with the black vote. Honestly, this probably should be safe. I'm going to give it to RDS safe. Ohio, RDS is going to get decent rural turnout and do decent in the suburbs. Ryan's going to really struggle with the black vote, but he's going to do pretty well with the working class, and he'll probably keep it likely. In Alaska, Ryan's going to struggle really. He's like really going to struggle to turn out Native American voters, but he's going to do well enough. Native American voters are probably going to continue to turn out at higher rates regardless, but, like shifting it to the left. But Ryan's going to do well enough with oil workers, and the state's likely going to shift, much as the suburbs are. Like regardless, I feel like there's a decent chance that Native American voters turn out at higher rates regardless, but not necessarily like somebody who's going to be like Ryan. I think is across the board a weak candidate. I think his only real strength is with like the white working class in the Rust Belt, and I guess like the working class in North Carolina, or in Iowa as well, like different areas. But I see him. I don't see him being an amazing candidate, but I see him doing well enough with the oil workers in Alaska that it's only like R plus 12. For Ryan's lean states, he has Nebraska second. That could honestly easily be tilt. Maine second, and New Hampshire. RDS has Wisconsin, Iowa, and North Carolina. So in New Hampshire, or actually, Nebraska's second. Ryan's going to struggle with suburban voters. DeSantis is going to do well enough with suburban voters. This could honestly be tilt, or maybe even tilt R to DeSantis. New Hampshire, Ryan's going to struggle enough with white rural college educated voters against somebody like DeSantis that it slips onto being lean. Maine second, I see Tim Ryan having enough appeal to, I see him having enough populist appeal that he's able to carry it lean. In Wisconsin, RDS is going to struggle with rural voters. He's going to do decent with suburbanites. Ryan's going to do very well with, the working class, but he's going to struggle, like, he's really, really going to struggle to turn out black voters, which is going to hurt him. It's really, really going to hurt him. RDS is going to be pretty decent with white rural voters and white suburbanites, although he's probably going to struggle. They're both going to, actually, well, only RDS is really going to struggle with the white working class. Ryan's going to really, we're probably going to see minority voters not shift away from Ryan, but just have it, like, Ryan's going to be really weak for minority voters, like, across the board. It's going to hurt him, but he's going to be pretty strong for white voters. Not as a whole, but a lot of, I think, Midwestern white rural voters and Midwestern white working class voters are going to probably shift to him. But he's still probably going to lose it by a lean margin. Iowa, he's going to do well enough with Midwestern farmers, and he's going to do well enough with a lot of these Obama to Trump voters that he's able to carry it lean, or he's able to only lose it lean. North Carolina, Ryan's going to do decent with the working class. RDS is going to do meh in the suburbs, and do pretty decent with the rural vote, but Ryan's going to struggle with the black vote so much that this could actually be likely. For Tim Ryan's tilt states, he gets Nevada. Well, actually, I'm going to give RDS Nevada. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm going to give him Nevada. He also gets Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to give Michigan to Tim Ryan, though Michigan could easily go to RDS. Nevada is a close call. It's a close call. Ryan's going to struggle, really. I just don't see him being strong enough. I don't. RDS is going to do well enough with the rural vote, and Ryan's going to struggle to turn out Hispanic and Latino voters to the point where it's probably going to go till, I mean, like, it could easily go to Ryan. It's kind of a hard call. I don't see it being lean, though. I find that unrealistic. I mean, it could be lean. It really depends. I'm going to give it to RDS tilt, but it's kind of hard to tell. In Arizona, this could be lean. I don't think RDS, actually. I think a lot of people really overestimate RDS's suburban appeal. I've talked about this before. And I do think that lots of people, like, significantly overestimate his appeal to suburban voters. But against someone like Tim Ryan, I'm going to give it to him till potentially lean, just because, I mean, like, Tim Ryan's just so weak with suburban voters. I would think, at least. In Georgia, Tim Ryan's going to struggle with the black vote. RDS is going to get enough rural turnout. I'm going to give it to RDS lean. I don't see him being exactly, like, UEP, I think, said that he gets, like, rural turnout with Trump suburban appeal, or Trump rural turnout with suburban appeal, or something like what I just said, or whatever, or said before, or whatever, something like that. But I think it's going to get less rural turnout. I think he's better in the suburbs, but not significantly. But in a state like Georgia, against somebody like Tim Ryan, where DeSantis is going to be, or Ryan's going to be so weak with black voters, I'm going to give it to DeSantis lean. Michigan, this could easily go to DeSantis. RDS is going to, or Tim Ryan's going to struggle with rural voters, or struggle with the black vote. He's going to be well enough with the white working class, though, to keep it till, even though DeSantis is, I mean, he's going to get less rural turnout, probably do decent in the suburbs. Michigan and Nevada are both kind of toss-ups. I kind of split them. If Nevada goes red, or if Michigan goes red, I don't see Nevada going blue. Realistically, if RDS got enough rural turnout and to counteract, even with Tim Ryan struggling with enough with the black vote. Actually, well, no, I'm gonna give Michigan to DeSantis, because Tim Ryan's gonna struggle so badly with the black vote. It's gonna be abysmal for him with the black vote. I'm gonna give it to RDS tilt. Yeah, I just don't see Tim Ryan having enough. I see it hurting him so bad. I mean, I can only went to Biden by like 2.8%, and Ryan's gonna struggle really bad with the black vote. He's gonna really struggle with black voters. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please comment your suggestions down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.